wild animals, and wild places. They're more than a picture. They're inspiration, excitement, and adventure. Patrolling and protecting these natural resources is a first-class band of peace officers. These are the Wardens, dedicated to the preservation of our great outdoors.
We're gonna have you load up your boat, and then we're gonna talk to you guys some more about you catching his fish. You can't party fish.
Michigan is a destination state for coming to hunt grouse and woodcock.
You got a short fish here. Any idea who caught this fish? The size limit on the walleye in the river is 15 inches. He doesn't even have a tape measure on board.
Michigan is a water wonderland that includes more than 3,000 miles of shoreline along 4 of the 5 Great Lakes, over 11,000 inland lakes, and more than 36,000 miles of rivers and streams. In Michigan's District 9, conservation officers Dave Schaumburger and Dan Walzak are patrolling the Detroit River during the walleye run. The Detroit River is an international boundary water separating the province of Ontario and the state of Michigan. The differing jurisdictions create unique enforcement challenges. Anglers can keep 5 walleye that are 15 inches or longer in Michigan waters, while Ontario maintains a limit of 6 walleye with no minimum length in Canadian waters. For fishermen that put their boats into the water on the American side of the river and keep fish from the Canadian side that are shorter than the Michigan limit of 15 inches or keep 6 walleye, they must immediately return to where they put their boats in without stopping to fish American waters.
People always talk about the good old days. The good old days are today. We're seeing limit catches of walleye being caught regularly. Fishing is really good this year, and the short term, I mean, the next 5 to 6 to 7 years, it should remain really good.
Morning. Conservation officers, both alongside your vessel.
We're gonna take a look at life jackets, licenses, fish. Do you have a net I can throw these in?
Net?
Yeah, want some to measure them.
Michigan conservation officers only patrol the American side of the river, so the anglers that they contact can possess a daily limit of 5 fish per fisherman, and each walleye must be at least 15 inches long. So the COs will measure any fish that appears to be close to the limit.
This one's good. I can tell those 2 are all good as well. Do you have any live wells up front? Nothing in front. All right, we're all set.
Alrighty.
Good luck in the tournament.
Thank you.
No problem.
Conservation officers are not limited to checking walleye anglers from boats while patrolling the Detroit River. They also monitor marinas as anglers return to where their boat trailers are parked. Officers Zach Painter and Christopher Knights are checking a boat that's just coming back into the dock.
How's the fishing, guys?
Good.
Yeah?
Real hot to go too far out.
No?
What time do you guys get out?
About 7.
Pretty quick day.
Cool.
That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah. Everybody's doing the same right now, so it's a good thing.
You guys, how many do you
Go around,
get?
once you hop back on,
We got our limit.
Yeah.
15, yeah.
Okay.
What's the smallest fish you guys think you got today?
It's like right at 50.
Right at 15? Yeah. All right, where's the fish at?
They're all
guys.
they're
All
all
fun. You're all set.
The COs did not encounter or observe any violations during this check, and officers Zach Painter and Chris Keel move on to talk to the men on the next boat that is coming into the docks.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
How's the
Pound
fishing?
them? Awesome. Pounded them. Well, we come out on Wednesday. We get all our fishing right out front here, and all males.
Yeah.
Yep, that's all.
Good eaters.
That's
Yeah.
what we got today.
You're pretty good. Well,
You guys get your limit?
He caught, what, 9?
Yeah.
Oh, I got 1.
Oh, yeah?
It
Yeah.
was my first time.
We got our combined limit.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Fish all in the boat?
Yep.
Okay.
Want to see them?
Yeah, I'll jump in and look at them.
Is it your truck?
What's that?
Is it your vehicle?
Yep.
You can go ahead and grab that if you want.
Okay.
Upon checking the fish, CO Pater does not find any that appear to be under the 15-inch limit.
So you only got one fish today?
This is my first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
So you know that in order to possess the 10 walleyes, you have to catch your 5.
Okay.
Okay? He can't catch your 5 for you.
No?
It's not a group party fishing.
Okay.
So yeah, that's
Oh.
an issue.
I did not know that.
And we're gonna talk to him when he gets back down here.
The fishing season is open year-round for walleye on the Detroit River, and more than 100,000 walleye are pulled from the river each year. The highest density of walleye in the river is during the spring spawning run. From March through May, more than 6 million walleye pass through the Detroit River from Lake Erie.
How are we doing today, guys? Good.
In Michigan's District 9, Conservation officers Dave Schaumberger and Dan Walzak are checking licenses, boats, and fish on the river.
We need to take a look at a couple fishing licenses. You have driver's licenses on you? How many fish on board? Guys have a couple life jackets on board? And the throwable? Great. Where are your fish at? All in the cooler up front. Okay, I'm gonna come on board and measure those up. Did you guys measure all your fish today? Okay, reason to ask, I got a 14.5-inch fish here. And you don't have a measuring tape on board?
The fisherman says that he doesn't have a measuring tape on his vessel,
And how big is that?
but he uses 2 marks he made on one of his boat seats to measure his fish.
No, that line's 13. Yeah, so we got a short fish here. Any idea who caught this fish? Okay, let me take a look at your driver's license, okay? The size limit on the walleye in the river is 15 inches. He doesn't even have a tape measure on board, and this one's a 1/2 inch short.
At a dock along the Detroit River, conservation officers Zach Painter and Chris Keel have encountered 2 fishermen whose total catch is 10 walleye. They've told the officers that one of them caught 9 of the 10 fish and the other angler only caught 1.
We're gonna have you load up your boat, and then we're gonna talk to you guys some more about you catching his fish, okay? You can't party fish.
How?
Each person has, in order to possess their 5 fish, you have to catch those fish. Okay?
I thought like when you go out salmon fish and stuff, when you.
No, you each have to catch your own limit of fish.
I thought it was just within the limit.
No. And that's, he's trying to learn how to fish. That's no fun for him, you catching his fish too,
Well, I asked him, because he has watch his kid. His wife's leaving.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna be back. I honestly had no idea that.
Okay.
I thought it was. Honestly, I've never been in trouble with the law. I never had a ticket.
All right.
I really thought it was. You can keep. As long as you're within your limit.
I understand what you thought. Yeah. But get your boat loaded up, and then we'll talk. Okay?
Officer Painter confiscates the 4 fish by which the fisherman was over his limit.
Yeah, like I said, I'm sorry I didn't.
Yeah. But like I said, you are, technically over limit on your fish because you caught 9 fish.
Yeah, there's no party fishing. It's you catch your 5, he catches his 5.
Okay.
Okay, so
And if you catch your 5, you can still catch and release.
Yeah.
Until he gets his 5 fish. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what we were gonna do. We were just gonna keep fishing. We got our 10. We're just like, we'll just see if we can catch a couple nice big females, put them back or whatever. And once I got my 5, it's kind of like, it was like a.
I get it.
I give him 5. If I catch, then we'll both get our limit. It's. You know, it cost a lot of money to come down here. It wasn't that we were, you know, like, hey, I knew, because I honestly, I'll be honest, completely honest with you, I didn't know that. I really didn't know that. And I'm like I said, I'm sorry for it, and it sucks learning this way, you know?
Well, if you didn't do it intentionally, you don't really need to apologize. Just it's a learning lesson, that's all. Okay? Go ahead and get strapped down. We'll be back with you in a minute. There's no party fishing. Some people know, some people don't know better. It kind of seems like this guy might not have known better, but we frown on the fact that you bring people with you just to catch more fish. He could have very easily, you know, caught his 5, kept his 5, and then continued to fish, catch and release, but that's not what they did. So we're gonna have to learn the hard way. Hopefully we won't do it again next time.
So you're gonna get a ticket for being over limit, okay?
Okay.
This is something we take really serious.
I take.
Right, I understand that, and I respect that.
I don't honestly, I don't break the law. I've never had a ticket for anything. I just.
Yep. And a lot of people think that, and that's why we're enforcing it.
I just called my buddy and asked him, and he was like, "If you're within your limit, you know, how many guys?" And I said, "No way." I said, I was just told. It's crazy because I think, like, you know, you go on like a fishing charter on Lake Erie, you know, you got like 5 guys, you know, and then, you know, you get your limit, you know, maybe, you know, I'm going with my grandpa for you. He wants to reel 2 fish in.
Right, but he has to. By law, he's required to catch his own limit. You can't catch someone else's limit for them.
I guess, like I said, I didn't know, and now I know now.
Yeah.
I mean,
yep. And you can use this as a learning experience.
In this case, the court-ordered fine was $315, including $80 in restitution for the fish by which the fisherman was over his limit.
Michigan is a destination state for coming to hunt grouse and woodcock.
The state of Michigan wants as many people as possible to have an opportunity to enjoy the natural resources of the state. One of the many ways that they can do this is through GEMS, or grouse-enhanced management sites. Al Stewart hunts for grouse and woodcock on GEM sites with his friends and colleagues. He knows the sites well and wants to educate whomever he can on some unique aspects of the sites and the benefits they provide for wildlife.
These are autumn olive shrubs. They're non-native invasive. We try to remove them from the landscape, but they're a plant that was brought in to help stabilize soil and get some brush going in some areas. You can see the small fruit that's right here. We call it grouse cocaine. So if you can find these clumps of autumn olive, it's a great place to work your hunt around, you know, when you're out in the woods. Grouse just love it.
There are 19 GEM sites in Michigan. The sites range in size from 500 acres to over 5,000 acres. These sites have scheduled timber cuts to keep trees at different ages and large areas of lush and thick young forests that make a great habitat for birds and other wildlife.
There's some areas that are a little bit more open, some areas that are primarily aspen. Some woodcock splash right here. There goes a woodcock.
Did you hit that bird?
Yeah. I want to go try to pick it up.
For bird hunters that are used to hunting with clear sightlines for pheasants and other upland game, they'll quickly learn that the ideal terrain for grouse and woodcock is much different.
It's hard because you know, you're walking through trees, not the open prairie. So you've got things in front of you, and really good grouse and woodcock habitat normally, you know, you're walking through trees that are the width of your shoulder, and sometimes you're turning this way to get through or bending down like that. And so when you do that, sometimes you take your eye off where a bird might go.
Good dog. Good dog. There we go.
I think that's a limit, Al.
That's the limit. That's 3 birds.
The walleye season is open year-round on the Detroit River, but the best fishing is in the spring when walleye are spawning. In Michigan's District 9, Conservation Officer Dave Schaumburger and his partner Dan Walzak have confiscated a fish that is smaller than the legal limit.
The size limit on the walleye in the river is 15 inches. He doesn't even have a tape measure on board, and this one's a half inch short.
The officers had separated their boat from the boat of their suspect and are now returning to that boat to issue the citation.
Sir, can you put it in neutral? Issuing a citation for the undersized walleye. Okay, it was a half inch short. I'm guessing that that's 13 inches, so you need to get something on board, a ruler, measuring tape. This is your 10th fish on board here, so you guys can play catch and release.
In this case, the court-ordered fine was $235.
On his metal seat, he had used a Dremel and notched 2 marks on his seat, and he was using that to measure. I'm guessing it was probably about 13 inches. Fish that are going to be too short are the ones that are haven't reached their spawning age yet, reproduction age, so that's why there's size limits on them. That's determined by our fisheries department.
After issuing the citation, Officers Schaumburger and Walzak continue to work the river near downtown Detroit.
That's what I have.
Do you have a current license for this year?
No, I don't. I didn't get it. I work 7 days a week.
Okay, what did you guys give me notice for him?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. We've had 2 months now to get it.
Well, I build big ground pools. I build it.
Okay, well, there's no excuse to come out here without a license. Yeah. Take a look at your license. Okay, I'm going to board the vessel and measure your fish.
One of the anglers on this boat has a valid license to fish in Canadian waters. He also shows the Michigan officers a Michigan fishing license from the previous year, but does not have a valid Michigan license for the current season. Upon measuring the fish, Officer Schaumburger finds 2 that are shorter than the 15-inch minimum limit.
Back.
They're not 15, sir?
They're not 15.
I had this one in the back there. It's on the floor. Or was that yours? I had one just like you could see where it was.
Did you have something today to measure them, or did you not measure them?
Yes, sir. I did, but I asked what happened to it. He said it probably, because it was glued on, not real well.
Okay, we got 2 short fish. And we got an over limit because you don't have a license. Okay. Do we know who caught the short fish or what?
No, sir, we don't. But I mean, it's my vessel.
Okay.
If you're gonna bang anybody, bang me.
Michigan Conservation Officers Dave Schaumburger and Dan Walzak have made contact with a boat where one fisherman caught his limit of walleye without a valid Michigan license.
We're allowed 10, right? Thank you, sir.
And another angler is taking the fall for 2 fish in the boat's live well that were shorter than the legal limit.
14 and a half.
Officer Walzak gets to work writing the citation for the 2 fish that were too small, while Officer Schaumburger works on the ticket for the suspect that caught fish without a valid Michigan license.
The occupants on board, all of them had a Michigan fishing license besides one of them. He had last year's fishing license, and he told me that he didn't have time to go pick up his new fishing license because he works 7 days a week. He had time to buy his Canadian license, but he didn't have time to buy his Michigan license.
For anglers who launch their boats into American waters and fish in Canadian waters and keep the Ontario limit of 6 walleye instead of the Michigan limit of 5, or who keep fish under the Michigan size limit of 15 inches, they must possess an Ontario fishing license and must immediately return to the dock where they put their vessel into the water without stopping to fish on the American side of the border.
The boat had some short fish on board, and one of the passengers didn't have a fishing license, so he's not entitled to keep any fish. Boat captain said that he'd take the fall for the short fish, and the gentleman without a license is going to get a ticket, and we're going to be seizing the fish. You don't have a license, you're not entitled to keep any fish.
Yeah.
Okay? You you have any questions about the line in Canada, being in Canada, anything like that? Where to catch them? So if you catch them in Canada, you have to go straight to the dock. You can't stop in Michigan. Okay? All right.
Thank you very much, and measure every fish.
Yes, sir. Those people taking over limits, that's taken away from people catching them in the future. It's cheaper to buy a license than it is to get a ticket for not having a license. And when you also possess fish without a license, you owe restitution to the state for those fish. So it's better to do it legally.
By the time their shift on the Detroit River was over, Officers Schaumburger and Walzak would make contact with 19 boats involving 52 people and 137 fish. Wild animals and wild places, they're more than a picture. They're inspiration, excitement, and adventure. Patrolling and protecting these natural resources is a first-class band of peace officers. These are the Wardens, dedicated to the preservation of our great outdoors.
You got a plug in there?
The dots you see, these are eyes. So that's the embryo, the fish actually starting to develop.
My big issue is you weren't coming here. You can level with me, you weren't coming here. Well, she wasn't expecting it, how about that?
No.
The state of Michigan boasts a rich history of waterfowl hunting opportunities for its residents, dating back to the time when the state's only residents were Native Americans. Michigan consistently ranks in the top 3 of U.S. states for number of Canada goose hunters, as well as the number of Canada geese harvested.
Where else can you go where you can hunt sea ducks, diving ducks, puddle ducks, Canada geese, all within a few hours drive of each other? So that's pretty unique.
The Michigan DNR provides public areas for hunters to take advantage of the state's superb waterfowl habitat. 7 managed waterfowl hunting areas are available for public use, totaling over 30,000 acres. One of these is the Muskegon County Wastewater Unit.
These are managed waterfowl areas where we have considerable concentrations of migrating birds, and what we do is try to create a system where we divide some of the areas up. People can come in and register as parties of hunters and go through a lottery, and basically, depending on how your number is chosen for your party, you can choose from available fields and hunt some of the harvested crop fields on the wastewater.
The Muskegon County Wastewater is one of our 7 wetland wonders, or our managed waterfowl hunting areas. And the thing that's unique about Muskegon County Wastewater is that actually it's not DNR land. It's owned by Muskegon County, and so it's a really neat partnership, a really neat cooperation that the DNR has with Muskegon County.
During the waterfowl hunting season, the Muskegon County Unit offers hunts on Tuesday mornings and Saturday mornings and afternoons. In Michigan's District 7, Conservation Officer Chris Simpson is preparing to patrol the Muskegon County Wastewater Unit on a Saturday morning.
It's a good way to get your foot in the door with waterfowl hunting if you don't have a boat or a lot of the gear. They shoot a lot of ducks and a lot of geese on this unit, so it's good for the novice hunter to come out and at least try waterfowl hunting.
CO Simpson accesses the hunting fields using an off-road vehicle instead of his patrol truck. Some of the items he'll be keeping an eye out for are a limit of 25 shotgun shells per hunter, shot sizes of triple P or smaller, and bag limits for each hunter of 6 ducks and 3 Canada geese. Officer Simpson notices a single hunter lying down on the ground.
Any luck? Shot one?
25, that's a lot of shells.
I was gonna say, I don't even think you have 25, dude. A lot of candy.
Yeah, that's
definitely won't get hungry. Can you go ahead and unload your gun for me? And
CO Simpson will check the gun of every hunter he encounters to confirm only 3 shells can be loaded before reloading, as mandated by federal law.
Good enough. There you go. Well, good luck to you.
Yeah, I need it.
You heard anybody shooting?
Yeah.
You heard self? Okay, all right. Hey, take care.
Officer Simpson doesn't observe or encounter any violations on his first check of the day and works his way to the next field with a hunting party on the Muskegon County Wastewater Unit. This group of hunters has 4 individuals in layout blinds with goose decoys around them.
How you doing, guys? Good. You need a lot?
Heard much shooting?
Behind us.
Behind? Oh, back. Yeah, we heard that too. Where's the rest of your shells?
They're right here.
Is that all you got?
That's them right there. Could be 25.
Okay. You just jump out your blind real quick for me?
Yeah, for sure.
Got a whole mix of stuff in here, don't you?
Yeah.
Here, I'll let you hang on to that real quick. There you go. You guys been hunting out here much this year?
This is actually our first time.
Oh, is it?
Never been out here before.
Where are you from?
I'm from right around Denison.
Okay.
Down south. Usually hunt down there, but figured we'd come out and give this a try.
Your gun's unloaded then?
Yeah.
You got a plug in there?
I assumed there was. I tried to load 3.
Yeah, you don't have a plug in there. There's 3 right there. You have your ID with you?
The state of Michigan sells approximately 1 million fishing licenses each year. Most of the fish that anglers catch spend their entire lives in the wild. However, the Michigan Department of Natural Resources also goes to great lengths to bolster the population of some fish species. One place that's instrumental to this effort is the Wolf Lake Fish Hatchery.
The fish that we're raising are fish that need a little bit of a head start, and so we're providing that to them by protecting them, giving them what they need, food, water, and shelter, and then when they reach a certain size, putting them out into the lakes and the rivers. If we weren't doing that, there wouldn't be as many fish for anglers to catch, and you would start to see the impacts of what we as humans are doing to alter the environment and seeing some of the repercussions of that by not putting those fish out there where things are being impacted. So you would start to see some imbalance, and certainly angler activity would decrease.
Wolf Lake Hatchery offers programs to the public, including school groups. Their goal is to educate visitors on why the state has hatcheries, why they're important, and how the process works in raising millions of fish every year that are stocked into Michigan's lakes, rivers, and streams.
This is our incubation room, or the egg room. This is where all of the eggs go when they get to the hatcheries. These are Chinook salmon eggs that were taken at the Little Manistee River. It takes them approximately 45 days to hatch at our water temperature. So if they were warmer, it would go faster. If it was colder, it would take longer. And just be very gentle with them. The dots you see, these are eyes. So that's the embryo, the fish actually starting to develop. And we'll just keep them out for just a little few seconds. And we are going to raise 300 to 325,000 of them.
Michigan's first hatchery opened in the 1870s, and there are currently 6 hatcheries operated by the state. Wolf Lake raises Chinook salmon, muskie, walleye, and steelhead trout. They do not charge admission to visitors and also have nature trails and wildlife viewing. Feeding fish is another option for visitors to Wolf Lake Hatchery.
Even if you're not an angler coming here to visit the hatchery or one of our other hatcheries, an opportunity to go on the nature trails and just see how conservation works in Michigan and how you can be a part of that and enjoy our natural resources.
Lieutenant Brandon Kieft started his shift knowing that it would be a long night. He is working a shining patrol as part of a team on the ground that responds to a DNR pilot who's on the lookout for suspicious activity from the air. Lieutenant Kieft, whose rank was sergeant at the time of this patrol, also remains vigilant in observing what's happening in his immediate vicinity.
A minivan came off one of the side streets that we would generally patrol in that area, and he started northbound. We were headed southbound, and I noticed that he had a headlight out. Sometimes those don't catch us as odd, but at this point, it's late at night, it's the middle of a surveillance patrol. I decided I would make a traffic stop on him. He got to the nearest street he could turn on, and in an attempt to what seemed like ditch us. I'm not going anywhere now. I'm going into a house. I caught up to him, got close to him. We hit a few different side roads in his attempt to ditch us, and he pulled into a driveway. And I ended up conducting a traffic stop right into the driveway of the residence. Sir, can you back up there for me? You got a headlight out?
Yes, sir. I just realized that when I hit my lows.
Okay.
I didn't realize it. I was just coming over to visit a friend of mine.
Okay. Who lives here? Okay.
A friend of mine.
Okay. Do you got your ID on you just so I can verify that you got a valid driver's license, sir?
As far as I know, I do, yes.
As far as you know?
As far as I know. I don't think I have any problems with it. I've been making payments to the fund in Lansing every week, or every month. So.
You got your registration proof of insurance for me, please?
It'll take me a minute to dig her out for you. She's in here someplace.
Just, he had a light out in his car.
Well, I was always told it's better to be honest right off the get-go.
Right. About?
I think I'm suspended.
Okay.
Honestly.
Okay.
The Muskegon Wastewater Unit is land that's owned by the County of Muskegon and managed by Michigan's Department of Natural Resources.
It was set up as a wastewater treatment facility, but it has tremendous size and acreage. There's a lot of crop fields out there, 3,500 acres of crops, 11,000 acre system, 1,500 acres of open water lagoons. And what it did is just attracted a tremendous amount of migrating birds, especially in the fall.
What we try to manage for is for healthy wetland systems. And so, through wetland conservation, through protecting our wetlands, through restoring wetlands, and also managing those, it provides the habitat we need. So as those species might fluctuate with their populations, the most important thing is that we have the wetland habitat there to support them for the future.
This arrangement gives waterfowlers an opportunity to hunt for ducks and geese without having to buy their own hunting property or use a boat. In Michigan's District 7, Officer Chris Simpson is patrolling the Muskegon Wastewater Unit and the 14 hunting parties that are utilizing the state-run resource on a Saturday morning in November.
It's sewage lagoons, which is this dark gray area. They treat the sewage, which tends to act as a refuge and attract a lot of waterfowl on those sewage lagoons, and then the birds will fly out and feed on some of these dry field crops. And usually it's soybeans, corn, hay, alfalfa.
Officer Simpson has encountered a hunter whose gun isn't plugged to limit him to 3 shells at a time.
Whose gun is that? Is it yours, or you borrow it, or what?
I mean, it's my dad's.
Okay. Did you check it before you brought it out?
No, I'm sorry. I just...
Okay. You do understand you need a plug, right? To hunt ducks? Yeah. Okay. No more shells in the bag?
No. Throw on the bag.
Okay. All right. Can you do me a favor and pop that gun case?
Yep.
It sounds like he's not real, not a real avid waterfowl hunter. It sounds like he borrowed the gun from a family member. And for waterfowl hunting by the federal law, federal and state law, you can only have a gun that can only hold 3 shells. And the reason is they don't want you to get into a flock and be able to kill a huge amount of birds with, you know, an extended tube or a shotgun with 5 shots in it. It limits the number of birds that you can cleanly and effectively kill in range. As they get further out, you're more likely to cripple and lose birds if you're taking some longer shots, which would be, you know, that 4th, 5th, 6th shot into a flock. Here's the deal. Obviously your gun's got to be plugged, okay? What's gonna happen, I am gonna write you a ticket for the unplugged shotgun, okay? You guys don't have another gun back of the truck or something? Okay. Here's what you can probably do to get by. If you run to that tree line, you can probably cut yourself a stick that's good enough to make a plug for the rest of the day so you don't have to quit hunting, okay? But you're gonna have to play with it and get the right, usually about that long. If you peel this cap off, there should be a hole that you can shove it down to get by. Or if you got a pencil in the truck, take a pencil and just break it off. Or if you got a pen, ballpoint pen, just pull it apart and stick that in there. That'll get you by. You might only have a 2-shot gun, but it's better than not hunting, okay? What the ticket's for is hunting waterfowl with an unplugged shotgun. I put on the ticket that I'm seizing your gun. I'm gonna let you sign for it and give it back to you right now. But before you start hunting again, you got to put a plug in it. So run over the tree line, run back to the truck, and get something that you can put in that magazine tube and plug it, okay?
In this case, the hunter paid a court-ordered fee of $150 to enter a diversion program and performed community service.
Traffic stop, pulling on the driveway at 80.
Michigan conservation officers are fully commissioned peace officers with authority to enforce the state's criminal laws. In Michigan's District 5, Lieutenant Brandon Kieft has stopped a motorist who was driving with a suspended license and whose registration for his vehicle is expired. At the time of filming, Lieutenant Kieft's rank was sergeant.
Lighter right here, nothing in the front pocket.
Okay, nothing here. Just put your hands behind your back. Just interlace your fingers for me. I will tell you that you are currently suspended.
Amen. Okay.
Yep. That's just a lighter?
Lighter, yep.
Just hang tight for me up against there. This wasn't his house. He did not live there, and the owner of the residence had not seen him for some time, and it was pretty apparent at that point that it was more of an attempt to elude us than it was just pulling in to see an old friend. Here's kind of the problem that we got going on here. You're suspended not just once over, twice over, you're suspended indefinitely. I don't know when the last time you had a valid license was.
I got stopped 3 months ago by Officer and she told me I was in the clear because I was making my payments.
Really?
Yes.
And then you missed a payment or two?
I've been in Lansing for like a month looking for work, and I missed my payments because I haven't been working.
There's some good news and some bad news. The bad news is that you're probably gonna have to go to jail tonight because you don't have a valid license. Okay. The good news is that normally where we might tow your ride, since it's in somebody's house that you know, if I can go up and chat with her once the other unit gets here, I don't have any problem leaving your car here, but we're probably gonna need to leave your keys with it.
There's no way I can just get tickets on this stuff and impound my vehicle until I get everything squared away?
Unfortunately, no, we're not gonna impound your vehicle. I'd rather leave the vehicle here if we can do that. It'd be easier.
Okay.
Be easier for you because you don't want to pay impound fees in the vehicle.
But there's no way I can just get tickets on this and...
Unfortunately, no, because my worry is you obviously have a problem with driving and...
So I didn't know I was suspended,
right.
Or I didn't know my registration was invalid. Honestly, I bought it through auto uptown. They were supposed to take care of everything.
I understand that, but unfortunately, it's not taken care of right now.
When officers Jonathan Warner and Kyle Cherry arrive at the scene, Lieutenant Kieft gets them up to speed.
All right, so he's driving northbound. He's got a headlight out. We spun on him. He quick turned on Birch, quick turn on Lakeview. He's bailing, so he gets into the driveway here. She hasn't seen him in over a year. And he's like, oh, I'm coming to visit my family, friend, blah, blah, blah. So she confirms that she hasn't seen him in forever. Right. So he's DWLS, expired, no proof of insurance, actually no insurance, period. So I zipped him for DWLS and for expired reg. Actually, he has no insurance as well. Right. So vehicle, she's okay with leaving it there. We can leave the keys, not tow it. You know, I think the public sometimes has a misconception that conservation officers strictly are fish and game enforcement officers, and we're fully commissioned police officers, and you know, the message has been made clear by our command staff that if encountering a violation, deal with what you see, especially if it's a safety concern or something else. So our guys do that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna have you ride with them. And my big issue is you weren't coming here. You can level with me, you weren't coming here. And if you were coming here, well, she wasn't expecting you. How about that?
No, she wasn't expecting me. I didn't call her or anything. She's always been my rock, and I could always talk to her, and I'm having a real hard time with my girlfriend. She's an addict, and I was hoping that she would be up and I could talk to her about some things. She didn't know I was coming.
Okay.
I just know her and know that she's usually up this late.
In this case, the motorist pled guilty to operating without a license in possession, and the court-ordered fine was $400. He spent the night in jail and corrected his expired vehicle registration.
If you see a police officer spin around to turn around to execute a traffic stop on you, your best course of action is to just pull off to the side of the road and stop. Honestly, in this case, had he not ditched us and not had as many things going wrong, a simple headlight out on a motor vehicle may just mean a warning for that day. But obviously the elusive behavior caused us to dig deeper and realize that there was something more going on here than a simple headlight out.